All right, I'll do it.
He's
You've
doing
convinced me.
it. He's fucking doing it.
See that, boys? Drove a hard bargain.
After he pours that beer.
That's right. Okay, so last time we went to liberate the slave camp that the Viper's insignia was seen on the slavers, and we returned a son to his mother and intimidated a landlord. And then the Mindweaver told us that if we eliminated Alara, we could have her mansion. So we talked about the best way to do this, and we wanted to check in with Victor and see if we could have him reach out to Alara to ask to redo the painting as a guise to plan an ambush. So, Victor told the group that he was needed elsewhere to help a friend this week, and asked Kai to sit outside Alara's with his disguise hat to keep an eye on the guard rotations. And Alara's comings and goings. So the group then goes to visit Victor and convinces him to play ball and set up a painting appointment with Alara.
And Cassian didn't want to get a painting with Nubot.
That's not true.
How is
That part's not
Newmont
true.
doing at this point? Because the previous session before then, Newmont had been knocked down.
Yes,
we did all that downtime.
He needed a week to recover, and that was, you guys did all that in your week. So Newmont is feeling a lot better. He's gotten his rest and relaxation. So
I have emotional scars.
Yeah. Yes, you do, but your body has been healed.
Would Vicar have come back from his outing at this point? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Victor, what you steal this time?
I'll tell you later.
All right. Was it any of my shit?
You never really do know.
I don't know, my pockets feel a little lighter.
All right. So you guys are all gathered around. I'm going to assume you're in the Wounded Rogue, just kind of chilling at the time being. What do you guys have to do?
During our downtime, I had an idea that I think would help further insulate us versus Alara's magic during our ambush. If you guys are open. Okay.
Is she magical?
I have to assume so. Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought she was just a crazy knife-wielding bitch.
I'm fairly certain. I'm fairly certain that she has.
Kazar, you know her best.
Yeah, I mean, would I know that she uses magic?
Kazar says it felt magical.
Maybe she had some like markings on her body, you know?
Go ahead and do a history check for me. You're trying to recall specific things.
Kazar comes. Okay.
Nat 20.
Perfectly.
If I recall correctly, not.
You see that little notebook of his.
You see Kazar get lost in thought for a moment as you remember vividly things that you wish you could forget. And you don't remember explicitly seeing any sort of innate magical markings or abilities. In fact, she seemed pretty fascinated with magic, even when it wasn't super impressive magic. Nothing leads you to directly believe that she's a spellcaster, but you never seen her cast a spell doesn't mean she doesn't know how.
Fair enough. My idea would still insulate us if she was to use magical items to make herself stronger, or if she had a magical weapon. So hear me out and give me some feedback. What if part of what's the fella's name that was forced to be in the painting? Victor, yes. What if Victor and the gentleman who's making the painting, his name is
Halen, I believe.
Harlan. What if what if Harlan makes an agreement with Alara to make the painting using quote unquote a magical paint that would prevent the painting from ever being destroyed again and keep the painting in perpetuity. However, the paint that he's using is very powerful and will consume any magic within the vicinity during the painting process. So if she wants to have this painting, she has to leave any of her magical items or make sure that she's not casting any magic in the area. It would kind of force her hand because we're going to draw her in with something she really wants and get a painting that's going to last forever. But it would prevent her from bringing anything that could hurt us into the room.
I mean, if she doesn't possess magic, that's just a win for her.
Wait, is there
because,
actually a paint that could do this?
Maybe.
like, that's a fair point. But like, if she's not magical,
Your
I don't think
pants
it's a
in
bad idea at
Gaza.
all. But like, I literally can't pull up, so I just won't be there. And
But it's, I
second-
wasn't. This is a deception. I'm not saying we actually use paint that does that.
I'm
saying we tell her-
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Emperor's New Clothes.
Yes,
I
it's
thought that
very
was-
Emperor's New Clothes.
Sure.
It's because if she believes that her sacrificing her protection, her magical protection in whatever form that is, whether it's innate magic ability or if it's magical items that she carries with her, if she's willing to sacrifice that for a small amount of time, in return, she gets a powerful magical painting that cannot be destroyed or lost a second time. Right?
My only
She might get
concern
yeah, go for
is that if she is somehow aloof to the trickery, that it will tip her off to the ambush.
That's just what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like that's, as a painter, unless there's more money involved, why would you do that?
Well, because
Right? I'm saying we're deceiving her, so we would offer that. We'd be like, "Hey, for this extra charge," or I understand that the painting was taken from you the last
it
time.
got destroyed last time, yeah, because it might
can
make
do
her
something to prevent that,
want
you
it
know?
more, yeah.
Right.
You're
I don't
gonna
know.
try to
I have a
convince
feeling.
her.
I have a feeling if we try and jump this lady, she's not just going to roll over for us. It's going to be a bloodbath. So I'm trying to insulate us a little bit.
Unless it's
I mean-
Kazir.
I mean, we might.
What time of the month is it?
Wait, what was that? Was that a dirty question or was that a legitimate question?
Said it was gonna be a bloodbath.
All right, yeah, that's
What
what
time of the month is it, though?
Well, so what it would do is if she had any items that empowered her, she would leave them behind. Right? That's the idea.
Correct.
Yeah. If she's
If she has a
actually
whip of
magical,
command-
though, she would know that it's a lie. Because
Right.
she
Where-
feel it. So
where are
So
you
it's
guys
even harder that she
having?
isn't.
Where are you having this conversation? Is this in the Wounded Rogue? Are you out in the city? Are you going to Harlan's place? What are you doing here?
Rogue, right?
Yeah. We said
Probably
Okay.
yes.
Okay, I mean, there's plenty of
corner
places to have a quiet
just
conversation.
it's a thieves guild. There's private places to talk.
Yes.
I'm just thinking. I think if we
I'm
think that
open
we
to
can
it.
like strong stick this,
I am too.
I don't think it's going to go exactly the way we think it is. I think we need something, and we talked about this the last time too. We need something to give us an edge against her because she is very, very powerful, and
I'm
she's
open
more
to it.
powerful. Than the
Yeah,
last
if we
time
do
talked.
that though, we're gonna have Harlan or Victor convince her of it because how are any of us
She
going
knows
to know
us.
why the
Yeah.
painting got destroyed?
Harlan owes us a favor. To be fair, even though he did pay us, we saved his life's work.
I guess
So-
it would be, do you think that either of them could deceive Alara?
Yeah,
No.
that's another thing.
No, honestly.
Yeah, I honestly don't think so either.
So that might be part of the issue because maybe one of us, but the issue is why would we be talking to her about that?
Mm-hmm.
Unless Harlan can put in a good word for our protection services, and then oops, there's a connection there. Oh yeah, I already know these people. I've I have an intimate relationship with one of them, and I trust these guys because I've worked with them before. Of course, I'll use them for protection.
Well, here's the thing, is that when we killed Silas, he was working with Alara and keeping tabs on us. So I don't think that she likes
Oh, that's
us.
true. I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
Something else to keep in mind, you guys would all know this because this is still fresh in your mind, even though it's been more than a month since we've actually played. You are also following leads of the slave houses. You're led to believe that there's probably one major stronghold left in the city, and you know it's somewhere near the cheese docks at a warehouse.
Isn't that the one that we hit last time?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No. You hit one that was in the borough, and you hit one from a while back somewhere else. But this one, you know that there's one left that's somewhere near the cheese docks.
Was that the one that was close to the waterfront?
Or I might have been the wool docks. I'd have to check my notes again, but it was near the waterfront.
Okay. Okay.
Well, do a perception check for me as you're sitting outside trying to figure out what's going on.
So did we just spend a week resting then? Like, do I have all my spells and stuff? Because they're marked.
Yeah, everyone's got a full rest. Vicar went off to do his own thing. Numat has to spend his resting, but if you guys wanted to spend your week, some of you could try to create a common magic item, or you could try to carouse, or I think Numat did religious activity.
That'd be me.
So
I'm a carouser. I just forget carousing. I gotta look that up real quick.
Every time I do religious activity as well, Jacob, I do take like 10 gold out.
okay, I will keep that in mind. You have good standing with the religious community right now. You tell me how you would make that look. That will depend on how creative you're going to be here.
Instead of a dragon, he's a turtle.
Hunchback.
Okay.
He's got a hunched back.
Counterpoint here: the shield has to be worn to get the properties, and yeah. Also, if you're putting a cloak over it, the whole reason you get advantage is because it has an eye on it, and if you're covering the eye, no, I don't think it would apply to this.
For my carousing roll, I got a 7, which is no new contacts.
Okay. But nothing bad happens.
No, roll 6 of 10 is just no new contacts, is all it says.
Okay. You try to carouse, but you end up getting more drunk than socializing, which isn't necessarily a problem, but no one's like, yeah, this guy's someone we should fight for.
Par for the course for tonight, boys, you know what I'm saying?
19. You notice that Alara doesn't leave her house very much, and when she does, it's usually only to walk around in her garden, which you do know that there's some herbs that you recognize and some that you don't, but you think Vicar might recognize. She tends to lean more towards the kind of herbs you don't really mess with too often, and then she goes back into the house. You see that a lot of people are running errands for her. She has people who go and get her groceries, people who go and do her laundry, people who, whenever she does need to go somewhere, she goes by carriage, and she goes with a small entourage of people. So There was no real rhyme or reason to when she would go to the garden.
Is it
You would
daily?
imagine. It wasn't a daily occurrence. If anything, it was more of like a couple of times a week.
Did you say there was any like guard traffic that he picked up on, or just that she comes and goes
There
with an
are-
entourage?
There are guards that are constantly rotating throughout the perimeter of the place. They don't look like they're too difficult to take in a fight. If you had to size them up,
How many guards are we talking?
it's hard to tell because there's constantly new faces going in and out, and like I said, with the carriages coming to and from places, there's new people. You can assume that as the Veiled, she has a very wide net of people that she can use for her individual desires for security. So it's hard to get an exact beat on how many people she has. And even on the outside, you can see that there's always 2 guards posted at every entrance to the house. But other than that, it's hard to tell what's inside. You don't know if there's guards posted there.
So it sounds like if the painting doesn't work out for whatever reason, we could either try to get her in the garden or go after the carriage. Probably would be the best bets. For the carriage.
But I mean, you guys were there for one of the times that she had an entourage, so it's
She was
comparable.
under threat at that point, though, right?
Yeah, but
He knew that somebody was
being
trying
the
to-
Veiled has not dulled her security. If anything, it's kind of bolstered it back up to that being sort of the new standard levels when she goes places. There's at least one carriage with 8 personnel, and usually it's 2 carriages with 8 to 12 personnel.
Let's cut the brake line. Yeah, gimp 'em. So, what do you guys think about these slave camps? Like,
Bad.
I think, well, yeah, obviously. But I think like one of 2 things could possibly happen. We took out 2. There may be just 1 more left. So we hit it fast so they don't have time to restabilize. Or since we already hit 2, they could be beefing up the last one.
They might be expecting it, yeah. But I
Yeah.
think that they'll probably always be expecting it.
Do we have like confirmation with Alar's direct involvement with the slave camps, or
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
could someone remind me? Like, did we hear it through the grapevine?
Yeah, so
Fine.
when we killed Silas, I like force fed him the truth serum, I think, and we asked him why he betrayed us and killed Maximus, and he told us that Alara was working on a coup against Gideon and working with the mafia using slave trade money from Dondolos.
Bad people all around.
Hmm.
I feel like if we're getting to the point where we might be meeting the Viper soon and we're getting deeper into this, that I should probably share something with all of you.
Ooh,
And
You steal
secret.
shit. We know.
well, there's that. But there's also some things about the Dawn that you might not know.
Go on.
such
So
as
Vicar would then go on to explain what the Dawn really is, which few people know because generally when you see him, you don't see anything ever again. And don't you have I think we have it in our chat, but it's probably way far up,
It is
Jacob.
way
So I
far
don't know
up.
if you.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can find it again. I wasn't necessarily ready for you to pull that out right now, but I'll find it.
Wait, I probably got it just for the search. Where is it? I got him. Well, no, I'm gonna explain it to you guys. I put it in artwork.
that is ugly.
Just so
Looks more
that
like
you
a toad.
guys know what we're getting into here. That this is where this road leads, and it isn't pretty.
Is he always in that form?
No. I don't believe so, right, Jacob? That's not.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what is he though?
Ugly.
Do I know?
You don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
You
just
know.
know
I
it
know
looks
what it's
like.
called. Would I be able to go deep into the coffers and find out?
Yeah, I'm gonna say roll because of your background. Go ahead and. Do you have proficiency with history, arcana, or nature?
Nope.
Okay. Roll one of those and add your proficiency.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to pick which one to roll. You said Arcana, History, or what else? Is that just those two? Nature? Ooh. They're all the same. So 15.
15. You know that this is
Ugly.
a greater demon.
Ooh.
You do not know the specific title of this greater demon. What it's called is slipping your memory, but you know that this thing is strong and usually not to be taken on except for in a large group with experienced monster hunters.
Almost like
That's not us.
us.
Not
I
yet.
just have a stick, bro.
Okay, I would relay that to the group.
So I don't expect anybody to complete this journey with me. I will be doing it.
Good luck.
See ya.
Regardless, but if if you guys stay and help, you should know what you're getting into.
Where the hose at?
I think, do demons turn to ash after you kill them?
Nope.
No,
Devils do. Demons turn to
Devils do.
ooze.
Oh well, what's your take
Ooh,
on
hell
ooze?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, probably not then. But I think we're a ways off from that. Hopefully.
You're not fighting that thing alone.
Yeah, fighting a greater demon alone, you would know, Cassian, it's a death sentence.
Not only that, we've found ourselves sandwiched between two psychopaths. I highly doubt that this thing, I'm not taking him lightly, but of all the problems that we have in front of us, this seems like one that we can at least train for and be prepared for at some point. We have much bigger demons to slay at some point.
Mm. You
Okay.
murdered an innocent hobo. That's the distinction. I was right there.
All right.
You
Well,
just
it's solved.
punched
Kai's
him.
gonna do it by himself, guys.
I got this. I got this. He's the chosen one.
So, then, do we want to get this thing with Alara cooking, or do we want to go after the last camp?
I have a feeling that our liberation of these camps is not gone unnoticed. So this last camp will be heavily fortified. It's not to deter anyone, but just be.
I think you're probably right.
I agree. I think there's a big time gap between the first and the second, so they might think the next attack will be a while. And if we attack before then, maybe we have a gap before they reinforce too much.
And we have determined that Alara has some sort of connection to these slave
Yes.
camps, correct?
I don't think
Well-
that there's any wrong answer here.
Well, if we hit Alara before taking on the last slave camp, an army is weaker without their leader. Whatever role she plays, they will be weakened if she's not around.
All right. And we'll have a nice house too.
We're going to need a place to rest, especially after fighting her. So why not do it in her own fucking place?
Oh yeah, look at that bitch.
Yeah. So let's set up the Alara ambush then.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Okay,
do anything
so-
alone, so
So are we in agreement to just have Victor set up a more traditional redo and try to like hide in his house or something like that?
Mm.
Sorry. To hide in Halen's house and have. I guess it wouldn't really matter which one, but it would be kind of like home turf, and we could set up beforehand that way.
I have a feeling we're going to be holed up for several days just to not draw any attention. Alara is probably a bit on guard now that she's lost
Mhm.
her scouts and now that her business is under attack. So if we're going to do this, we need to make sure that we have enough provisions and we're prepared several days in advance before the agreed meeting date.
We would have to ask to be sure, but I would. Right. If Halen went there to do the painting, but I think he didn't because he had the painting at his house and he was like, right. So if he had done, unless he had transported it, So I think it's likely that he did it at his house, but we'd have to ask. So maybe that's the next step.
We're also going to need a contingency in case
Oh,
something happens where she is concerned about transporting again. So maybe she wants something done a little bit more personally. So we're going to have multiple plans.
Yes, agreed. So it ideally, in my mind, we would set up the ambush in a home turf area like Halen's or Victor's. If she doesn't want to do that at all, or it's unsuccessful for whatever reason, then we would go for an ambush in the garden or on the carriage. And if she wants to do it at her place, then we would have to figure out some way to get in with Halen and Victor. Maybe in some of Halen's supplies we could hide, or Halen could have us hired, quote, as like moving his supplies into the. But she knows who we are, so.
not to be a buzzkill, but I have to restart my whole setup here. Something happened and all my screens are not working.
Sick.
Okay, love you. Goodbye.
I'll be right back.
Bye. So what do you guys think? I think that's probably the trickiest part, is that if Alara wants the painting done at her place, how do we do it?
I think that is where she's gonna want it.
So how do we get in? Because if we can't kind of hide or find some way of like hide in Halen's art supplies or find some way to act as like a support crew for Halen and bringing stuff in, I don't see how we're going to get in.
Maybe
Unnoticed.
we're there before they do the painting at all.
Right. So then, but how do we get in unnoticed?
Well,
You know, that's the.
I guess you would maybe know more about this than me, but do you have a network maybe of the sewers? They have to have sewer pipes running there.
I could see about that. I
It's
could.
an option.
Yeah. God, would Vicar think that speaking to some sort of like information network about this would tip off Alara, or do I have some sort of like other kind of contacts that are not like underhand related?
I am going to say that the majority of your contacts are rooted in the underhand. You could try to be creative about how you want to gather information and have it not be underhand related, but
Would there be some sort of public city planning map that I could just go to a facility and request records for?
if you had the official documentation, you'd have to, I don't know, maybe liberate some documentation or make your own to get into the proper places, but it could be done.
And how much is a forgery?
You actually beat a hobo to death for one, so you have one in the party.
Full circle, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like session 1. You guys beat the homeless man to death.
Great.
For a
I don't think I
forgery.
ever put that
you
in
guys.
my.
Whoa,
Yeah. Whoa.
There's no you guys, brother.
All right.
Dave.
I beat a homeless man to death for a forged kid.
All right. I never added that to my inventory, so I should do that. Yeah, it's so cheap.
Now you must
What
die.
the fuck? We killed
Jesus.
somebody over one goal.
Honestly, though,
That's
his death
actually
isn't in vain
crazy.
if we take down Alara, because think about how much damage she's doing,
True. Yeah,
And we
that's
need that 2 gold.
hilarious.
Tell his family that.
Okay, so I think that's probably my play then, is to try to forge some documents so I can get my hands on the schematics of the sewers in that area.
Yeah, I think. Do we have a plan B if that fails?
Y'all hear me?
Well,
Yes.
yes.
Well, I
You gotta
guess
turn
we're
your
gonna find
camera
out
on,
if
though.
that fails first,
Okay.
right?
All right. So you're gonna try to forge the documents.
Yes.
All right. Are you doing any kind of research to figure out what they're supposed to look like, or are you just weighing
Well,
free balling it?
Yeah, I think that's probably I would like to go to the place that I would need to do this and ask them like what I would need.
Okay. So you walk up to town, the city hall, and there's a secretary there that looks incredibly bored. She's sitting there with a messy bun and horn-rimmed glasses, and just kind of like playing with her quill, not really paying attention as you tink, 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 tink with your little claws up to the front desk. Your head doesn't quite reach the top of the desk. She doesn't even notice you there.
Am I okay? Yeah. Excuse me.
She looks down and then just kind of sits up in her chair a little bit and goes, "Can I help you?"
I hope so. I was looking for some sewer schematics and I'll give like the general area, and I'm just wondering what kind of documentation that I would need.
Do you have your contractor's license? What are you doing? Are you doing work, maintenance? What's your department?
Yeah, it would be just annual sewer pipe maintenance. But I do have my license. I just want to know what other documentation I would need.
Go ahead and roll a deception check for me.
Oh, with pleasure, with pleasure.
Pleasure.
You
That
maintenance
is
cleaning. I
a,
was annual sewer pipe cleanup.
I was gonna let you get away with like if you had a good argument, I wasn't gonna make you roll, but I don't know that one was a little
All right, well, we get a 12.
12. Okay, hang on. I don't know. She might beat that. Let's see. You rolled a 12. I also rolled a 12. So she looks at you and goes, mm-hmm.
I'm dirty
Okay.
looking, by the way. I
Yeah.
look like this is
So-
something that I might do.
When two rolls match, it means nothing changes. So she's not more trusting of you, but she's also not more trusting of like,
Fair.
oh yeah, for sure you have it. It's
Yeah.
where like you go to the DMV and you're like, I swear, like I didn't know my license was expired. You know, that type of thing.
Well, just tell me the documentation that I need, and I will bring it to you.
You're gonna need your C642. You'll find it in Department E7.
Can you point me in the right direction?
Down the hall to the left.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And she goes back to just sort of scribbling some half-hearted notes on little journal she has. As you start to walk away, she says, "What was your name again?"
Oh, it's Victor.
Victor. Victor what?
Victor Faleri.
Victor Faleri. Okay. She
Faleri.
scribbles a name in the book and then goes
Sewer
back
pipe
to.
Cleanington.
All right, so you're in basically like this archive room, for lack of a better term. You have all these different sort of filing systems with all like unimaginable quantities and forms that you can fill out.
Is there anybody here to help me
Nope.
find something? Great.
No, there is not.
Well, we're gonna attempt to find this C742 document.
All right, go ahead and roll an investigation check for me.
Shit. We get a 18.
18. You find it without too much issue.
Hell yeah.
It's fairly well organized. It's not the neatest thing you've ever seen, but you make your way around. You find the form. You find a copy of the form that you need. It looks like you need an official signature from a city hall representative and a signature from the head of the building guild, and you're good to go. Or you could just forge the signatures, but all you need is some official signatures on this copy of the form, and then you're good to do work.
You know what to do, my boy.
Yes, well, I would need to know what their signatures looked like.
Nah.
That would probably be the bare minimum, is knowing their names. Is there somewhere that I could find a completed document for somebody else?
Do an intelligence check for me.
All right.
Just base intelligence.
That would be a 15.
15. You happen to kind of have a city official under your thumb at the moment.
Oh, Victor. No. Just regular
Not to be
Victor.
confused.
So okay, all right. So we will. I will bring the document, the form back, and tell the group that we need to go visit Victor for some signatures.
All right. You
Then we
let the
do
group
that.
know. Is everybody headed off to Victor's place now?
I guess so.
Hell yeah.
I suppose.
All right. And Victor has yet to meet everybody in the party. You kind of been coming in piecemeal. People.
Well,
by
yeah,
people.
not everybody at once. Yeah.
But if you guys wanted to come in as a full party, that's fine. And if you wanted to keep him thinking that you have an infinite rotating number of people, that could also be funny.
Who hasn't met him yet?
I was perched on his balcony like Batman, so he knows me.
Yeah. I don't think Kai has. Yeah.
No,
I don't think
the old
Numa
dragon.
has.
No, yeah,
No.
I always stayed outside.
Neither of you two. Yeah. So you guys can choose whether you come or stay.
I'm going.
Okay.
Alright.
Kai? Okay, so you're even taller than you are
10
normally.
feet tall.
All right.
Kai's head clips
Yeah,
through the ceiling.
It does. Your head is clipping through the ceiling as you're walking past. Yeah, so the three of you guys walk up to the front door, give it a knock. You see a servant or a butler come to the door, open it up, recognize you, Vicar, and then looks at the other two, looks way up at Kai, and goes, "May I help you?"
We're here to see Victor.
"Ah, yes. Please come in." And he opens the door, and you know where to go. He gestures upstairs. So you make your way, knock on the front door of the office, and you hear, "Come in."
So we'll enter.
Victor is looking up from paperwork that he's signing, sees you, and his face falls. But he doesn't say anything else.
Look so happy to see us.
You never come with good news.
This is neutral news.
What do you need me to
I'm-
do? Break into a vault or steal gemstones from a princess or something?
Well, that would be great, but I think I'd be better at that than you. But I have something that you might be better at than me, and I'm going to put the paper down on his desk.
What? Why do you? What is this?
I need this form submitted, and I need signatures, and I also need a contractor's license.
Okay.
Please.
All right. I can get it to you tomorrow morning.
That's great. Thank
All
you.
right. He takes
Send
it.
to the wounded rogue.
The Wounded Rogue. What's that? Never mind.
It's a bar.
Of course it is. All right. I'll read over this, see what needs to be filed, and I'll get it to you in the morning.
I appreciate it.
He sighs and puts the paperwork he was reading aside and begins reading what you just gave him. And what you gave him too is like a thick packet. It's like an unnecessarily thick packet of just like, I'm a sewer maintenance guy. I do sewer maintenance stuff. I do that, like line item by line item, like the inspections that you need to do.
I am sewer. I am maintenance.
I am the sewer.
We are
All right.
compliant.
So,
Yeah, and he looks terrified at Kai for a bit as this interaction's happening. Yeah, his head is like half clipped to the ceiling.
So then I will leave.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure. I like him. He doesn't talk. And the door closes behind you guys as you make your way back out onto the street. You see the rest of your friends waiting patiently outside.
So we will have the documents that we need to get the schematics tomorrow. And then we can check and see if there's a way in.
Okay, perfect.
Anything you guys want to do in the meantime? What time is it at this point?
It's about midday.
Did we already talk to Harlan about informing him of our?
I don't think we
Painting
did, so
scheme.
maybe that's something we could do.
All right.
The Harlans.
You guys make your way to the North Quarter, where you know Harlan's workshop and residence to be, and you make your way there. You see his front door, which, as you're looking at it now, in the daylight, it's a gorgeous front door. A lot of these front doors are nice looking, but you can tell that this is the front door of an artist and a craftsperson. Give it a knock and wait a few minutes, and then you hear footsteps coming to the door, and the door flings open. And Harlan looks at you all and goes, "Oh, I thought we were done. Oh, is this about the commission?" And he looks at he looks at, I think it
Newmont
was
and
Sid.
Cassian.
Yeah, oh, Newmont and Cassian. Yeah, he looks at the two of you and goes, "Is this about the commission? Have you decided to pull the trigger on that?"
It is about the commission, and I grab him by the collar and step through the door.
You don't need to be so rough with me. Oh.
I hope you reflect it in your art.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that he, like, it looks like a muse has struck him, and he's already gaining ideas of how he wants to paint this scene.
Everybody needs to get inside quickly, please. We don't need to be seen out front of this man's house.
Yes, please, come
Already
in, come
there,
in.
baby. Walked through both your legs underneath.
Slip right in there.
He closes the door behind you, and then you hear, well, if you're watching him, you see him, and if you aren't, you hear it. Bolt slide, padlock clicked, latch go across. Like, he's got this whole system of things that he does now because of the events that have happened. And then he turns back around to the rest of you guys and says, "Please, let's go into the parlor. And for the rest of you, you can stay there. And for you two, I'm going to need you to come to the to the studio, and then we can get started."
The robe I'm wearing, I just immediately take from my shoulder and put it down, so now it's just hanging from my waist down.
Oh yeah, baby.
I'm ready.
Harlan eyes you up and down, not in like a sexual manner, but he is studying your entire body, and he's like,
He's impressed.
Should I suck it in a little bit?
I'm gonna give both of Newmont's nipples a flick just to get them nice and hard.
Oh yeah.
Well, they're already hard.
after you, yeah, Harlan takes a look at it and he goes, "Okay, I can work with this. I can work with this." And he goes into the pantry real quick, pulls out some crumpets and some tea and some brandy for everyone sitting in the parlor, and he turns back to to Newmont and Cassian again and goes, "All right, well, let's get started."
I'm already indulging myself in the brandy and the crumpets.
Are you two going into the studio, or are you staying in the parlor? What are you doing?
Me?
You and Cassian?
Yeah, I'm in the studio already.
I'm just taking part in the snacks.
I haven't heard from Cassian in a second, so I'm assuming that he's going with you.
Cassian has like the most deadpan look on his face right now because we're here to plan an assassination, but instead
we
trying
gotta
to get
loosen
naked.
him up first.
He brought out snacks.
So you guys make it into the studio, and he closes the door behind you. It's sort of like a privacy screen. It's not like a door, and you see all a mess of paints and canvas, beautiful pieces of art and sculpture and everything that you can imagine that has an artistic medium in here. And there's this like mini stage of sorts, and he points to it for the two of you to stand up there. And as you're approaching, he sits down, pulls out his easel, and pulls out this canvas and says, "Now, if I remember correctly, we were doing some sort of dominatrix theme with a whip, and one of you was going to be crawling similar to the painting that you were salvaging, correct?"
Yeah, Cassian's crawling.
Oh, I just assumed my mistake. And he looks expectantly at Cassian and then looks at Cassian's whip as if like to hand it over to Newmont.
Cassian is literally dead. Like he's just standing there, like this is not happening. This is not happening.
I you know what? I might have the thing. You see Harlan stand up,
Shy.
go over to this large chest that he has and throw it open, and it's basically like Party City in a box. You have like the pink flowy scarf, you have like the oversized glasses, the top hat, and he just starts rifling through and he pulls out a leather strop, like a horse whip, and he comes over and then hands it to Newmont. He says, I understand not wanting to use your own personal property, especially if it's anything expensive, so here you go. And then he sits down expectantly, just waiting for a pose.
Harlan, I know that you're looking forward to this. However, my friends are they're very funny guys. They like to play jokes sometimes. The real reason we're here is because we need your help.
You see, he looks completely crestfallen. Like, the winds has been taken completely out of his sails. And he's just like, you let that joke play out for a real long time, didn't you?
It is
didn't.
for a painting, though.
Yes. We'll be compensated.
Do you say that through the privacy screen?
Well, can I hear anything?
Yeah,
over
you
there?
could hear
Okay,
it.
yeah.
It's basically like a Japanese style, like, paper with
I definitely would have shouted out, "All right, bend over, Cassian." No, yeah, it is. We are here about a painting.
Okay. He pulls the privacy screen back and he says, "Well, I'm assuming we're not doing this painting today, then?"
Vicar is covered in crumbs and has a glass of brandy in his hand. And the "we are here about a painting" quip was said through a mouthful of crumbs and crumpets.
Got you. So, what's the painting in question? Is this a restoration piece? Is it a copy?
There's a long swallow, like a difficult dry swallow from Vicar, and he says, "You could say that. Restoration piece? Yeah. No, that sounds about right."
Okay, did you bring it with you? Is it at a different site location?
What? I have a piece of it, and I'll pull out the the sexy Alara painting.
He goes pale. And Newmont, how close are you to him?
How close was he away from?
It's like
The
less
stage.
than 20 feet. It's a studio-sized room, and
I would say
you know-
like in the middle of 5 to 10 feet.
all right, you see him begin to faint. Are you trying to? You're fast, so do you have
I
the reaction to try?
and catch him.
Yeah, he full on blacks out for a second. You catch him, give him like a little bit of a tap, and he just. Yeah, I wasn't expecting
Cassian
to
took off
see.
his shorts and you just fainted.
That is not what happened.
That's what I
That
saw
is-
happen. The painting is already away.
It looks like he just saw a ghost. He's very flustered at the moment. I thought that mess was all behind us.
Well,
Well,
not wrong.
Again.
Well,
unfortunately, that was just the beginning. We're going to need to do something much more dangerous, and we're going to need your help to do it.
My life was at stake. What's more dangerous than immediate mortality?
or our lives are at stake now.
multiplied
So
by a city's worth of people.
How is this a citywide issue? Over a painting?
Well, you're the artist and we're not, so trust us.
He looks very confused.
okay,
but he's
yeah. So here's the deal. We need you to recreate the painting between Victor and
Or
Laura.
else.
Is that what we're going with?
Or else.
All right, go ahead and roll intimidation, Sid.
Don't mind if I do.
Oh my god.
Wait, I gotta pull my sheet again. What is my intimidation?
Probably pretty high.
Yes, I just need to know the specifics. No. 18.
18. He was already kind of scared. He looks pretty terrified at the or else.
The
Okay.
painting won't happen. I just need
We
you
need the illusion of the painting happening to happen.
yes.
I can't do magic. I'm confused. What do you...
You just need
Can you
to
paint?
Yes?
Then you can do what we're asking.
Okay.
How much is your painting commission?
It depends on the size of the canvas and how many people. There's a variety of factors.
Well, this payment's going to be the gratitude of an entire city, which is priceless.
Sounds like an expensive piece to me.
Oh god damn it.
Yes, that is the price of the entire city's gratitude, which is what you're getting paid in, and nothing else.
He looks confused again. Still scared. He doesn't want to talk to you anymore, especially not about price. at this
27.
moment.
That was an intimidating statement, and it was a 27.
Okay. He's still scared, but he doesn't want to talk to you about the money anymore. He still wants to be paid, but he's not going to push the issue.
Okay, Newmont, was there a price discussed for your painting?
Uh,
Do you remember?
nope. I was
Nope.
just way too excited.
It wasn't
about the painting.
cheap. It was
wasn't
not cheap. It was 5,000 for 2 people
Oh,
in a
holy
my
shit.
canvas at the same
God.
size.
All right, look here, buddy. I'm gonna carrot and stick you. I will give you 50 gold and not kick your ass.
I'm just going to crack my knuckles.
And you don't even have to do the painting.
He looks scared still because of Sid's very high intimidation. He's listening.
All right, all you have to do is set up an appointment for Alara and Victor, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. And
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All
Well,
right.
that's not the only thing you have to do.
You also have to suck my.
Cloaca, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have to house us for upwards of 3 days, and we're probably going to destroy the inside of your house.
Why the inside of my house? What does my house have to do with this?
Well,
Wait, oh, actually, that's a good question. What does your house have to do with this? Where did you do the painting for Alara and Victor last time?
I did it at Alara's place.
Great. Okay,
Oh,
good to
bummer.
know.
okay, your house will be fine.
How did you get into Alara's last time?
I was invited. It was a commission piece.
Right. So how did you physically enter her house?
The front door.
And what did you bring with you?
My painting supplies.
And how robust of a kit do you bring? And how many people do you have move it in for you?
It was just myself, but it was a decent-sized kit. I had 2 trunks, fairly large easel, and a few canvases.
Great. So, let's say that you're going to need... We can work with this, right? Who can fit in a trunk here?
I'm gonna point. I'm gonna
I
just
put your hand
silently
down.
point at Kai. Just silently point at Kai.
Okay.
Harlan slowly looks at Kai and then just shakes his head even slower.
How big
back
are
and
these trunks?
The trunks are like a normal-sized person, like a 5'9" person, would be very, very cramped sitting in there. I'd say it'd be challenging to put anyone 6 foot or above. 6
Okay.
foot or above wouldn't be possible. Anything 6 foot or below would be possible. If you're a small creature like you, Vicar, you could be fine.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. You might even be able to put some art supplies in there with me. But who else could fit in a trunk? Kazur,
I'm
Numa.
flexible.
Yep.
Yep.
Could I or would I?
Both.
Maybe could. Probably not would. I don't know if I want to head back in there.
Into the closet.
Yeah, Vicar. Exactly.
So my idea here is that we disguise some of us to help move Halen's stuff into Alara's, and the other ones hide in the trunks that are being moved by them. Okay. What does that mean?
And for how long? That's going to take a lot of coordination.
Well, we also have the sewer outlet potentially, but this is something that we could do the trunks if the sewer doesn't pan out. But yeah, so Halen, you have to set up a meeting, or you and Victor, between the two of you, set up something. If you can get Alara to do it here, if you could suggest that, that would make things easier. And I could throw in some extra gold, perhaps. But otherwise, if Alara wants to do it at her place, we can do that.
I can suggest it, but I'm pretty sure, especially if you want it to be a copy, she's going to want to do it at her place. She had some pretty unique furniture.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, you can suggest it don't push it. I don't want you to make anything obvious. If she says she wants to do it there, then we'll do it there. Just let us know.
Okay. I'll reach out and see what I can do.
So we can theorize about how else we can get in the rest of the night, and then in the morning when we get the sewer plans, we can see if that's an option for us to get in there.
Harlem looks expectantly at everybody, as if to say, do I need to make beds, or are you leaving?
No, we're leaving.
I'm just gonna walk to his kitchen.
He goes, you're scary and big. He doesn't want to contest anything you're doing
I'm
right
gonna
now.
take the rest of the brandy with me.
But that's just good. It's nice stuff. It's good brandy.
I'm gonna hand some to Cassian because I feel like he needs it after all of this.
Yeah. Glug, glug, glug. Harlan, will you have a seat with me, please, my friend?
Sure. Based on your tone, should we sit somewhere more private? I have more private seatings.
No, these are my brothers. I want to have a conversation with you, but it's not anything I wouldn't say in front of them. So just sit
Okay.
down for a second.
All right. He picks one of the comfy little plush chairs, sits down, he pours himself some brandy. It looks like he kind of needs one too.
Okay, DM, above table. I would like to use a persuasion check based on what I'm about to say. And I would like to persuade Harlan to feel like he's an important part of the future of Penting. And my goal here is to earn Harlan an inspiration to re-roll a deception check or something like that if he gets put under pressure during the plan.
That is a unique idea. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that
Hell
before.
yeah.
I like that. Actually, you know what? Take an inspiration for yourself as well, because I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
Cool. Thank you. Now, let's
Yeah.
see if I bomb this fucking speech. Here we go. Harlan, it's not uncommon for artists to go through their entire lives and make beautiful and incredible art and die a stranger. I'm not asking you to lay down your life in any way, but if you help us, you're going to be doing this city a great service. There are many evil forces at work in this place. And it has come to our attention recently that these evil forces are growing very, very powerful. But as you know, me and my friends, we have a special set of talents, and we can protect people like you, common citizens of Penting. And to be honest with you, we feel as if it's our duty to do that for anyone that we cross paths with that has a good soul. And we can tell just from the time that we spent with you and working with you that you are one of these people that deserves to have a bright future. But these forces are moving quickly, more quickly than anyone anticipated, and we need your help to give Penting a chance to survive this. And in doing this, you won't have to wait until you're dead to be a famous artist. This is an opportunity to be a hero now. But I need you to stay focused, and I need you to believe in us. I'm giving you my word. We are giving you our words that this is for good. And you are a very important part of our plan.
All right, go ahead and roll persuasion.
Okay, boys, here we go.
You can do it, Buffy.
17 plus 8.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. This man's so
Heart-
persuaded.
Yeah, the more you talk, the more you can see that kind of wind that left his sails earlier when you said you didn't want a painting kind of come back in. And it might be the brandy, it might be your speech, it probably is a combination of both, but he looks like he feels more important about his position in things. And he looks at you and goes, you know, your whole group kind of gives off mixed messages of good guy, bad guy, with the whole, you know, intimidation and just taking things and all that. But I know that Alara's not a good person, and I think that you guys are actually trying to do something good, even if you're doing it a weird way. So I'll help you. And if I live through it, no, just
There's no if, my friend. And don't mistake my rough appearance for
just from the kitchen as like dishes are clattering. A wind has officially left his sails again.
Harlan, listen. What you're doing takes a lot of bravery, but everyone in the world gets 2 options. And luckily for you, you get to choose the 3rd option. And I'll put my hand on his shoulder and I'll shake his hand.
That was good. I like that. Props. I already gave you an inspiration. I would have given you another one for that, but yeah, he shakes your hand. He looks
you can give him 2.
committed. I gave him 1, and I'm giving Harlan 1 as well. So I'm going to count that as But yeah, Harlan has been inspired by this conversation, so he will have an inspiration he can use if he needs it.
Fuck yeah, boys.
Nice one, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a really good idea. I like that. Very creative.
Yeah, I like it because it lets the dice still do the talking, you know? He just
Mhm.
gets a second chance if he needs to.
Yep.
Good shit.
All right. So, are you guys making your way somewhere else, or are you bunkering down at Harlan's place?
No sense in staying here. We're going to have to go find some fucking sewer worker clothes somewhere. Put together a couple disguises.
Maybe.
Some jumpsuits.
Ain't nobody down there checking badges. You know what I'm saying?
We hope so.
Except
Yeah.
the mole people. You hear Harlan say under his breath.
Oh my god.
I think whatever we go down there in, by the time we leave, we're going to be looking like we're sewer workers. So don't worry too much about it.
The costumes make themselves.
They really do.
All right, where are you guys headed?
I guess Wounded Road, right? Unless
Alright.
there's anything else you guys want to do. You want to go shopping? Cassian? Shopping?
No.
I need to give you guys some more iconic locations to visit other than just the Wounded Rogue. It feels like that's the only go-to at this point.
That's
So
the
what we
hideout.
have. Give us more.
You got a whole city, baby.
Baby, do you guys want to? We could try someplace new if you want. It's up to you guys. Want to get bougie
have
with
a
it?
picnic in the park?
God damn! I
It's
thought
called the
you never
Rogue's Wound,
asked.
which sounds pretty sick.
What'd you say? The Rogue's Ruined?
The Rogue's Wound.
Oh,
That-
wound. Yeah.
Is it the wound that never heals?
The Whispering Wound.
All right, you guys make your way back to the Wounded Rogue. Yeah.
No.
God has had enough.
God has had enough.
Oh.
All right, as you make your way back there, you see Uck. You tell him that his soup is tasty. He looks happy. He lets you guys down, and bookshelf closes
I'm gonna
behind
give
you.
him a wink and like a nod, like no, it's not, but a wink, like maybe it is. I'm just gonna confuse the fuck out of him.
It's not. It doesn't take much to confuse him at all. He's got like a 4
I hate
intelligence.
Soup.
Just starts drooling.
Yeah, actually, he gets so confused. He just kind of like overwrites his own system. You see some drool dropping into the soup.
No, it's really good.
Yeah. All right. You have your privacy. The Mindweaver is down there performing. You see a lot of people in a sort of stupor right now.
So, let's find some place quiet. Well, not quiet, but private.
There's plenty of places.
All right.
You find one and sit down.
If the sewer angle doesn't pan out, how do you guys want to do this?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I could get one of us in with a spell.
Which spell would that be? How would that work?
Do you remember me speaking about my shadow spell? So I can basically like touch a person, The chocolate in my hand and turn them into a shadow.
Nice.
So
I
How long does
think
that last
High
for?
end, since he's massive.
Massive, yeah.
3 hours.
3 hours. That's nice. Yeah, that's good.
So that's one of us. But I have invisibility I could use for
Could
myself.
could we canvas the inside of that building using your shadow spell?
No, but I have a different spell for that. Like make the room completely dark, you mean?
No, I mean like get somebody in there ahead of time to kind of like see how many guards are in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. We should do that a day prior. No particular reason, but just so I'm feeling like I can use that spell again, you know?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Plus, you don't want to do a day of. What if you run into something that you need to account for?
Exactly. That's a good idea, though. Yeah.
Cool. So we can do that.
If the annual sewer worker thing doesn't work out, maybe we could tell Alara we're the annual bush trimmers for her garden.
I'll be your weekly bush trimmer if you want.
Oh my god.
Yo, chill.
Okay, but like
Yeah,
serious.
how else would we get in there, though? I mean, probably.
I think packing as many of us into the trunks as we can reasonably fit, and then having maybe you could have Kai get shadow formed in, and then Sid and Cassian could carry the trunks with Numot, Kazar, and I inside of them. Inside.
Who's gonna carry the trunks?
I'd like to counterpoint. I'm not actually very strong. I'm quick and slippery, but I'm not strong. So maybe me carrying crates is not the best idea.
What about? I mean,
Well, definitely not me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kai,
Yeah, I would have to be.
I guess
am strong.
you could use your disguise hat anyway, so that makes sense. But Cassian, would you even? Oh, you could get. You could be shadow formed. So Cassian gets shadow formed. Kai uses the disguise hat.
Yeah, I could probably just fit into a trunk also. Like I could fold myself up into a trunk, no problem, to be honest.
So,
However we want to do it.
how about we keep Kai not in shadow form because he's strong.
Right, and Kai
Sid
just
could
uses
also be
disguise hat.
carrying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I can shadow form someone else, probably Cassian, since he's going to be the heaviest of the rest of us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Sounds good.
And then the rest of us could get into the trunks, and you guys could act as Harlan's like crew to bring in the equipment.
Yeah. I could also come in invis if it's not realistic to carry 3 people and art supplies between 2 of you.
Well, it wouldn't be all of us in one crate. It would be 3 separate crates. So you would just be
On a trolley,
like,
probably.
yeah, however you guys wanted to do it would be fine.
Well,
let's
I ain't
work it
doing
out.
Lifting, so it's up to you guys.
Right. So
We-
but does that sound good? Like if we can't get in through the sewers?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
what we'll
so,
probably do, real quick, Vicar.
Mhm.
What we'll probably
Yeah,
do
yeah,
is we'll have the cart deliver the 3. We'll have a cart deliver the 3 trunks, and then Sid and Kai will bring each trunk individually into the room, and then it'll be staged a certain way. So we have to
Yeah.
figure out how we kind of want the cart the trunks to be.
you'd want Kazar's trunk farthest away from the stage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. So let's say the sewer thing does pan out and we have access in through the sewer. I think that part of our like 3 hours of shadow form should be trying to figure out how we could enter in through the sewer and where we would go to set up. Yeah.
think if we get access to the sewer, we go in the day before, get right to the entrance to the building. Yeah, one of us goes in shadow form,
Ooh.
scopes out like guard positions where the best spot is, and then we just
should-
rest there.
Also ask Halen which room he was in last
Oh
time,
yeah, true.
so that we know where to set up.
It will be the same spot, like you said. As
Yeah,
furniture. So
because he said it was specific.
yeah,
Yeah, that sounds
good
good.
idea.
No. Well, so then that's a different plan. Right. So if that happens, do you guys want to try to ambush her in the garden or on the road in her carriage? Or some other way? Yeah. Kai, where is the garden? Is it ground floor or is there a balcony? Yeah. And I'm sure you have the answer to it because you were watching, right? Yes. And you're going to tell me right now. God. Where's the garden?
Both. It depended on which one she was going to. Typically, it was outside in the grounds. She has a whole forested area behind her mansion, so she has plenty of ground coverage for a actual garden. But she does have like a terrace for whenever she goes for like real quick trimmings for something.
That actually sounds like a pretty good way to go about it. Because we could potentially get into the gardens, and if it's forested, we could hide very easily.
They probably have gardeners though, but yeah.
True.
Well, they definitely will have gardeners. Yeah.
Well, I mean, did Kai see?
There are gardeners that are tending. That's why she was only out maybe a couple of times a week.
It wasn't never the same day, it was just randomly?
Just randomly, yeah, just to make sure the gardens were tended to.
Okay, so here's the idea. We kill all the gardeners. So she has to do it herself.
Go on.
Jesus. How about this?
Well,
Why don't
just
we
kill them
start
too.
the gardening company, do such a good job that she's forced to hire us.
Yes.
And when we're finally in the garden, then we make our move.
I love this idea. And we
could make this a
work
year-long
hundreds of
con.
jobs first to
We
really
easily
build up a
put in
name for
thousands
ourselves.
of hours each and
Yes.
build our repertoire. It's gotta be
100%. 100%. I love this. Oh my god. Amazing.
The third blade.
Yeah. The third spade. The third spade. All right.
That's a good one. Yeah, I think we got plans out the wazoo. So now to just do it and not.
All
die,
right. That sounds
hopefully.
good. I'm going to bed.
All right. You guys all make your way to your various rooms and bed down for the night. No eventful things happen. Wake up in the morning. You do find that there has been a letter that was left for you by the time you guys wake up in the late morning that was sent over in the early morning. And
Who said
it has
governments aren't efficient?
this isn't the government, this is an official that you blackmailed. This is not
Yes. Well,
bureaucracy.
Well, we know how to grease the squeaky wheels, I guess. I don't know.
Yes, there is a stamp, a seal on it that looks very official that you now could, if you wanted to, replicate before breaking it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Let's do that.
All right, go ahead and roll. You don't have proficiency with forge kits, do you?
I have expertise in sleight of hand, if that helps.
It does not. This is not necessarily sleight of hand. This is specifically having to do with forging kits.
No, I don't believe I do.
Okay, in that case, just roll a dexterity check for me.
15.
15. You very carefully go about putting some of your thieves' utensils and the forge kit to copy the impression of this wax steel into a clay mold that you can then fire in a kiln and then pour something into to make a replicate, a stamp that you could replicate.
Yep.
And then you break the seal, you open it up, and you find that it is your documentation. There's pages of paperwork here. It's been signed off for you to be able to go in and get the schematics that you need for the sewer
Is my
system.
contractor license here as well?
It is there.
Great.
All it needs is your signature.
I will sign. What a guy.
How are you signing?
Do you read through the documentation, or do you just like, oh, okay, it's all here?
Well, I mean, like, I guess I saw the initial documentation, so, like, is it the same?
Yeah, what I'm more asking though is that you read through it before or now. Are you trying to find any differences, or are you just like, it's here? Here we go.
I guess Vicar would look at it and, like, do I notice that anything's different?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
if you want to skim it, you could skim it to try to
Yeah.
find that out.
Yeah, just to
Uh,
make sure that this is what it is.
Do an investigation check for me, because there's a lot of pages here.
All right. That is a natural 20 plus 4.
Natural 20. Not only is it identical to the work that you sent in, and there's no deviation from it, so it's exactly what you were asking for, but you do catch a few lines in there that you missed before when you were looking over the documentation, and there's a lot of talk about the city not being responsible or liable in any way for any bodily harm that may come to you during your repairs or during any creatures or foul things that you might encounter in the underground sections of the city while performing your maintenance. And there's a lot of like legal liability documentation here about like, we're not responsible for anything that happens to you.
Vicar will pause as he's like flipping through quickly. The word creatures catches his eye and he pauses and stares at it for a moment. And he looks up to whoever's around and says, I'm sure this is just like legal mumbo jumbo, but take a look at this and I'll show them the liability waiver for the creatures in the sewer. Have you guys ever heard about creatures in the sewer? I've lived here my whole life. Has Vicar heard of creatures in the sewer?
You would know that there's always been like this, like crocodiles in New York City sewers type stigma of no one really goes down there, no one really knows. Like there's all these wives' tales of people's going missing and bad things happening in the sewers. This is a fantasy world. You know that like giant rats and stuff like that are not uncommon in sewers in cities like this. And your average giant rat could probably rival your average commoner. So that is pretty scary. You don't know if it has to do with that, if it has to do with something more serious. It's pretty ambiguous here.
Well, just, I guess, be aware.
Beware of creatures in sewer.
Creatures in the deep. All right. Cool. So I will then take it to the courthouse and get my documents.
Yep. You submit all your paperwork, and about 3 hours later, you are given the blueprints that you need for the sewer maps of the city.
Take them back to my friends, and we will go over them together.
Okay. You guys were waiting for Vicar for a long time. Vicar, you were bored out of your mind. You are so pissed by the time you get back at how long you've been spending there.
That sounds accurate.
Yes.
Highly accurate.
Yes. Plus, I had a little bit of realism in my fantasy world.
Thieving, and he slams the pages down on the desk and goes immediately to the bar and gets a strong drink.
Yeah, you guys are kind of looking over the blueprints as Vicar makes his way back. They're pretty detailed. Some of them are out of date. Actually, it looks like a lot of them are out of date. You have no idea when the last time the sewers were surveyed. However,
How would we know they're out of date if there's not a date on it?
there are dates on it. That's how you know that they're
They're
out of
just
date.
What,
They're old.
What are the dates?
The dates are from about 100 years ago. So
How often would they have made changes to the sewers, though?
probably not very often. It's not like you would assume that there probably have been some minor deviations and changes, but nothing extreme.
Yeah.
Unless nothing too major. You do see that there are sewer systems that do lead underneath Alara's house. There's one main drainage system that leads actually under her house. You don't have the blueprint for her house, though. It seems like her mansion was built almost after the fact. Like
Well,
it
it has
was.
to connect.
It probably does connect, but it looks like the sewer system that was there was originally intended for something a little bit more substantial than just a one-person
Sure.
residence.
Well, that's good. Because then we have to fit a 10-foot dragon in there. You know? Okay, well, I will. Perhaps we survey Alara's house today with the shadow, and then as a group go and path through the sewers and try to find. No, I'm saying that we survey Alara's building first and then go through the sewers after. Together. And then take a shower. Or not. No, only one of us would do it. But we could be nearby. GIC. No, I think as a shadow, you're just invisible, aren't you? As long as you can leap
Fuck.
from shadow to shadow. Is there a
As
best time of day for this?
shadow, yeah, it'd work better at night. That's what I was saying. If we
Okay.
go in the sewers at night, we use it like late at night, scour and
So do you want to do the sewers during the day and then at night we
Yes.
could? Okay, let's do that then.
if that's fine with everyone else, yeah.
We'll just shower between.
Yeah, that works.
Unless you want a
Why
stinky
are we trying to have this group shower so hard, bro? God damn.
Look, brother, all right, you can stink if you want to stink. I've stunk enough my whole life living in this place.
You stink right now.
Thank you.
Stinky.
Oh, stinky. All right, so we're going to the sewers.
All right. You see that the closest sewer entrance actually isn't too far from Alara's place. There is a manhole cover opening that you can get down into in a back alleyway in the north quarter. So
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Actually, good point. Everyone roll a stealth check as you're trying to drop down here.
Oh, you had to
We'll
say
do it early
something.
morning. Early morning.
Yeah, I mean, don't roll
Early
super
in the
shitty and you'll be
morning.
fine.
I got a 19.
I got a 6.
Oh
You had
no.
a 17.
Okay.
Shut up, guys.
What can I say to really sabotage the group and myself repeatedly for the next 5 minutes?
I love it.
No.
Hell yeah.
That leaves Cassian
Oh, fuck.
Gotcha.
and Kazer.
Rolled a 15.
15.
Solid. Oh, hell yeah, Kazer. Hell
Alright.
yeah.
There's only one
Double
failure.
roll.
Yeah, you guys all kind of make your way slinkily throughout the city. It is early morning, so there's not really too many people around, and you manage to slip your way down this manhole cover before anyone really notices you. once you hit the ground, you realize it is pitch black, and there are a certain number of you that do not have dark vision.
Well, good thing Cassian has some goggles. If I remember correctly, if Pepsi Farm remembers.
Okay.
Yeah, don't you have night vision goggles?
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah. Well, I got dark vision, so I don't care.
So I think that leaves the only one who can't see is Sid right now.
Kai, can you see in the dark?
Unless I change state.
I will
Nobody
cast
wants
Mage
that.
Hand, and I will hold
Nobody
his hand the
wants
whole
that.
way.
Don't hold his actual hand because that's gross
Yeah, I would never do that.
and gay.
He's a symbiote.
I was just gonna bow. You took the words out of my mouth. That's gay.
That's funny. All right.
Who's holding Kai's hand? I'll do it.
You could light a torch if you wanted to, if you have other means of magical light.
I guess, yeah, you guys could do that if you want to, so you can actually see. Yeah, that's on.
Yeah, it's on
Sid.
Sid, but it only provides 5 foot
Me.
of dim light. So if there's someone literally right next to him, he could have disadvantage and attempt to hit them, but he's blind beyond that, so. Yeah. Alright, are you lighting a torch, or are you just kind of like blindly stumbling through the sewer system here?
Probably best to light a torch for the homies.
It can. Yep. Yeah, it's not an issue. Yep. It holds the torch and then just kind of like floats mid-air. Very
Very nice.
haunted mansion-esque.
Very nice. Love it.
When the torch is lit, you realize that this is not like how you would expect a sewer system to be. This is old, like very, very old. This wasn't just built as like a preliminary infrastructure for this city. This is predates it by a long time.
But how does it smell?
It smells like shit. It
Stinky.
smells bad.
Victor's unaffected.
Okay.
It smells like home.
Home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Kazer. Do
Mhm.
Kazer and Numat do a history check for me.
History. The fuck do I know?
Yeah, the rolls tonight have been crazy though. 18.
Hell yeah.
15.
God damn.
And both of you recognize that this is some sort of ancient
Stinky.
architecture that's down here.
Okay.
As
I
you-
know this. Okay, yeah, go on.
You know it just because of the actual ancient Elvish that's written on some of the elements of the stonework here, and it just looks like Elven architecture, especially from the region where you would be from, Kazer.
Is this the ancient Elvish I've been reading?
It is the same ancient Elvish that you've been reading. Same dialect. Yeah, there's nothing really here to read other than some basic dates. You see things like waterline written. You see things like trap written. Not trap as in like, well, you see trap written. You would assume that it's not talking about like, oh, there's a trap here that's going to trigger. It's more of like trap as in,
Sewage
okay, this
trap.
is, yeah, sewage trap. It's more like this is someone has written the things here as a working system for themselves a very, very, very long time ago.
Okay. I don't really know what to do with that information, but we can relay that for sure.
All right.
So maybe this is before the falling of the cities. Maybe there was a different city before. I don't know.
I think that's a pretty astute observation, yeah. Yeah, that might be true.
Yeah, your voice is echoing as you guys are walking through these
Uh,
chambers.
If it is this old and ancient, should we try to detect some magic?
Sure, go ahead and do that.
Okay, I wish I was a wizard.
Yeah, me too, bro.
The most passive aggressive thing.
God damn. Okay, go ahead and do that.
Yep, it does feel like rocks.
If you guys give me 10 minutes, I can kind of tell if it's magical. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
All right. Are you guys giving Cassian his 10 minutes to cast a spell?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smells
Sure
good to me
thing.
down here.
During that time, I would just like to double check that the group is aware that I am not a wizard.
All right.
I can't even read.
10 minutes go by. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting architecture. You can definitely see some elements of you came down from your region across down to the south, and in coming down to the south, you've kind of crossed through some of where Numat's home, not Numat, some of where Khazr's home territory was. And that sort of architecture is very, if I had to put it into like today's terms, it's almost Moroccan. It's desert like, but with it's desert like architecture, almost Byzantine Empire style. But this is just a different accent of that, basically. So 10 minutes go by, Cassian. Tell me what your spell does again.
Yeah. For the duration, I guess it lasts 10 minutes also. For the duration, you know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located. Similarly, you know if there's a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated.
You do not get anything from your spell. It doesn't look like it's magically consecrated or desecrated. It doesn't say that you detect magic, does it?
No,
Just if it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, so you don't get anything, but you know that there's no creatures of the specified sort that are within 30 feet of you.
Looks good, boys.
Onward.
All right, I'd say with Newmont's spatial awareness, you guys are pretty easily able to pick a direction to follow the sewers, and he has the schematics there as well.
Yeah, we're trying to find an entrance to Alaris here, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's what we're looking for, fellas.
Newmont, roll a survival check for me. This will be pretty easy.
25.
25. You don't even need the blueprints. Vicar pulls them out, and you go, no, it's okay.
Look at
already
him last night. We're
memorized
good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
you got
read,
it
but I can read maps.
all up in here, baby. So you're clearly navigating everyone through and snaking them through. Josh, could you pull up the map?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
All right. So, as you guys are walking, you notice that like I said, it's not tunnels per se. These are more like hallways that were built as part of a structure before, almost more of a basement than a sewer. They've just kind of been converted into a sewer system. So as you're walking, you start coming across more rooms, for lack of a better term. I'm going to need... Who here likes keeping an eye out for things usually? I'm going to say Numa and Kai. Go ahead and roll perception checks for me.
Fuck. 12.
14. Kai, you see what looks to kind of be like a large suit of armor, a bit of a ways in front of you. And you also start to see, as you're walking a little bit closer down this way, bones. Lots and lots of bones.
A head.
Sure. Yeah.
Get that whip ready, Cassian, and it's not for the painting.
So I guess I'll try and poke it. I don't know.
You're trying to poke the
It's like
suit of
30
armor?
feet. I get like I don't know if I can even see it, right?
Can
So
Vicar
it's
see it?
cool to like set
Not-
my hand
No,
up.
I
Really,
think Guy's just asking to move the mage hand up so we could illuminate that area more.
Yeah, but Vicar has
I don't
like
know if
120 feet of dark vision or something like that. So,
Yeah, I don't know if the mage hand gives light. Like you guys probably won't even be able to really see it.
Well,
Mage
he
hand does
isn't
not
carrying
give. Well,
the
it's
torch.
holding a torch, so.
but
no, I
can
was holding
Vicar
Sid's
see
hand.
before the torch gets close?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm saying, can I see what it is before the torch gets close? Because I have 120 feet of dark vision.
Yes, you can see what it is now that they've kind of like pointed it out.
Yeah.
It looks like a very large suit of golden armor.
I will relay this to the group. Why is this down here? I check my gloves.
Is he Frodo?
What is he, Frodo?
You have to be, if I remember correctly, the gloves only vibrate when you get close, correct?
That's
I
Birdo to you.
don't know.
Birdo.
Birdo. Yeah, 10-foot radius. Yep. Is it stationary?
It is stationary.
All right. Well,
Looks like it has silver and gold elements to it.
suit of armor.
Do we
Fancy
see
suit of
any
armor in the
emblems
sewer.
on it? Specifically an A?
What'd you roll for your check?
12?
No, you can't see.
Well, could you ask if I could see?
What did you roll for your check again, Vicar? Or did you not roll
You
a check
didn't.
yet?
You didn't have me rolling. I could
All
though.
right, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. This thing is a good ways off. So you
19.
guys are sitting right there, right? You can see ahead of you.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is where it is. If you can see where I'm pinging right now,
Oh, I'm not in.
Also,
it is far. That's why I said it's like you guys didn't really notice right
is
away.
it like heavy armor or what?
It's definitely heavy armor.
We are so doomed. Where is Spider Bitch Dolores?
And what did you roll? I'm
was
sorry,
so
Vicar.
long
I see
ago.
that.
165 days ago.
Was that Jacob?
I asked what Vicar rolled for his perception check.
19.
19. There does appear to be some sort of damaged letter on the front of this thing.
I cannot make out what it is though.
It's hard to tell from this distance. A
Uh,
damaged symbol of some kind.
yeah, there is a letter on it, but I can't tell what it is. This suit of armor looks like it's been through it. Looks like shit, one might say. It's in a sewer.
What are you guys doing?
Do you think, since these are really old, Alan could have had a part in making them and maybe he put them down here for protection?
Yes.
Can't you? Is it worth to message him?
Mm,
Nah.
I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah. Then we'd have to explain to him why we were down here. If it is, I think we just trash his suit of armor and call it a day.
Yeah, fuck that dude.
We just have to be a little quiet about it, boys.
I I don't know about anybody else, but I'm gonna go take a piss real quick. If
All
we
right,
want to
we
take
can
a quick
we can
break,
take a 5 minute. Yeah,
yeah. Before we get into this,
yeah. And this will be the last thing we do for tonight. So let's take a bit of a break, then we'll come back into this and then see how we're dealing with this.
we're
All right, everyone be back by no later than 11.
Yart.
B.
Okay. All right. So left off where you guys were looking at this
Ignores us.
suit of armor. So what are you guys doing? You just see it sitting there, kind of lifeless.
From
Yeah.
traversing the sewer so
Was
far,
there
how deep
anything
is this?
loose on the ground, like
Hang
a
on.
rock or a
Newmont
stick?
was talking.
How
It
deep is
doesn't
this water
matter.
in the
I was asking a question.
Oh my god.
Go
Jesus
ahead.
Christ,
Go ahead,
man.
Numa.
The sewer collapses. Everybody dies. Jacob turns off his camera. to
Except
mute the
Newmont.
Discord.
Newmont's fine.
The tides have turned.
Yeah, really. All right, say what you were gonna say, Scott. Newmont, go ahead.
How deep is the water?
How deep is the water? It's about waist height when you're actually standing in the sewage, but there are spots next to the sewer lines where you don't have to actually be in the sewage. It'd only be about, skimming your boots, whatever muck is sloshed over on the sides.
Numa, are you planning on diving in?
Hold up. Yep.
Okay. You see the cursor move.
All right, roll for infection.
Actually, though, are you still injured?
No.
No, he's healed.
Imagine, right? I just cast hold person on Newmont right now. Just leave him there.
No, the real strat is to cast hold person and then just put someone in 1 inch of water face down.
Oh Jesus!
Mhm.
I'm gonna
You
use that in
sick
our next
fuck.
combat, Jacob. You shouldn't have said that.
All right, so what are you guys doing? You're all just kind of standing here?
Well, is this like the way we're going straight ahead? Like we have to go past the armor, right?
Yep, if you want to get to where Alara's house would be, you'd have to run right past that thing.
Well,
Oh.
I think then we have to go that way.
Do you want to try to sneak by it, or do you want me to hit it with an arrow?
Shoot it with an arrow.
We're sneaking by it, to be honest.
Pause. My question was never answered.
Your question is unimportant. We're moving on.
All right, we
My
have an
question
arrow. We
was,
have
is there a
sneak
rock?
by.
Yes,
or a stick on the ground.
there are rocks and sticks that you could. Well, not sticks. There are rocks and loose bits of rubble that you could throw.
I want to get like a nice, like chunky size rock and just like throw it, not to hit it, but like to like bounce off the ground and like nestle on its foot.
Okay. You throw it, it hits the ground near it, and then kind of rumbles forward and not quite hits the thing, but definitely hits near enough where it makes a good sound. And you see the whole armor set jerk forward a little bit, and like this, and a little bit of like this purplish steam shoots out of the side of its neck, and it looks down at the rock, and you can see there's just this light that orbits around for a second, and then it begins to try to stand up. It looks like it's having some trouble doing so.
Does the light emanate from the armor suit itself, or does it come from somewhere else?
It's coming from the suit of armor, sort of like an emergency red light when there's a power outage that kind of flashes around like this. So it's kind of illuminating the space and like a dim light around it by about 15 feet.
How wide is the sewer area that we're in?
Sewer area?
30.
30 feet.
Yep.
So, I guess we could watch
Those
it,
big
and
fucking rats.
if it shuts down, we could get on the opposite side and walk past. If it's
I would assume whoever put that there will have made sure it had enough range to reach
Yeah.
the small 30-foot gap.
all right, probably
Honestly.
true. You want me to light it up?
Well, it's magical also, so we probably can't sneak past it. So, like, realistically, we have to just fucking fight this thing. Well,
Mine does.
yeah, maybe.
True.
Maybe it speaks Old Elvish. I could try that.
Maybe scallops will fly out of my underpants.
Okay. All right. I could put it in the backpack. I mean, I can like bellow down the sewer. I'm like, could I say like we come in peace in Old Elvish? I feel like I've been studying it a long time. This is
Yeah.
not bad.
I would say that you're fairly proficient with Ancient Elvish at this point. And yeah, you can. It's pretty easy to say. the suit of armor begins to slowly, jerkily kind of walk forward towards where it heard the sound coming from, and in Ancient Elvish responds, defense protocol activated. And as it begins walking towards you, it eventually stops about 60 feet away. I said it was only 15-foot light. I misspoke. It was about a 60-foot light. So once it's 60 feet away, it stops, looks at you, and goes, Are you in need of assistance?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Our city has been attacked.
So take us to Alara's. As I nudge Kazur
In there.
quietly.
Did it respond to that, Jacob?
To the our city has been attacked.
Yeah.
It's just waiting for a continued response because it doesn't observe any immediate threat around it.
Escort us down this passage. And I'll like gesture down the hallway where he is.
Follow me. And then it waits for you to get closer before it begins to turn around and move.
I mean, I trust this Autobot. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I like, but
As-
like, yeah, I'll be like kind of careful with this though.
Sounds good to
Foot
me.
by foot.
As you all begin walking towards it, before it turns around, you do realize that there is what is clearly like an A that has pieces of it broken off. Its face has been chipped, and there's like a visor sort of thing that it has been cracked open. As it turns around and begins jerkily walking away, you can notice that there's a lot of circuitry that is just exposed. There are wires that have been kind of fried. It looks like something really heavy hit the side of this thing and ripped part of its arm off. It's still hanging on by a couple of loose wires, but the arm looks unfunctional. And it just continues to walk forward.
Can I ask, while we're walking, like what happened to it?
It pauses, and you can see that it stands up straight, and you can almost see reflected in its visor a series of images flashing around. And then it turns to you and says, There were rocks that were falling, and I was hit. The buildings were collapsing. And then he begins to walk forward again.
Well, Vicar, I think you were right. And like I'll whisper this, but like this robot seems incredibly valuable. Could have some good knowledge, especially regarding our friend.
How do we keep it on our good side?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kai loves to name inanimate objects.
It is literally an animate object.
Yeah, but it's a robot, so it's not a real person.
Can I ask, are there more of you?
There are plenty of us spread throughout the city. Begins walking.
Congratulations.
Well,
Someone put a leash on that thing.
I don't even see you on the map.
The map isn't as important now. That was for if you guys decided to try to shoot this thing or fight it. There were a lot of options that could have happened here. Pet it. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have ended well either, to be honest with you.
Hey, Kazar, ask him who made him.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I mean, sure, why not? I can ask that. Like, who is your creator?
I was
Why don't we
created
ask
by
it its name?
It
Yeah,
it
CBT.
stops walking, and it's like you've interrupted its pathing, so it just stopped and paused, and now it's waiting for a new answer or a new question to be given to it.
What's your name?
You can't speak to it because you don't speak Old Elvish, motherfucker.
Get
Yeah.
fucked.
I'm gonna look
Who
at
made you?
Kazir as I point at the fucking thing and say, "What's its
I'll
name?"
literally take my mage hand and I'll shove a finger up Sid's ass, and I will say, "Who made you?"
I was made by several arcane practitioners, but I was commissioned by Alwyn.
Papa.
The name Alwyn, the rest of you would recognize. That's still same in Ancient Elvish and in.
Who?
I know that guy.
Yeah, I'll say
I hate that guy.
we're friends of Alwyn. The city's been attacked. I think you're the last of your kind.
Overload circuits.
Yeah, it's pausing as if it's trying to search for reasoning. It looks like there's some sort of damage to what we would know nowadays of like a memory storage system, but you can tell it's clearly trying to bring something that it's not happening. You can see literal wheels in its head kind of clicking and stopping. There's arcane sigils on it that aren't quite glowing up properly. You see several of them are lit up, but some of them are just kind of dimmed and some of them aren't lit up at all.
Johnny Five is alive.
Is anybody proficient in Arcana?
Not I.
Nah.
Nope.
The magic guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to do, but it seems a little bit a little bit too difficult.
Well, if you need a pair of hands, I got you. But
Bumblebee!
wait, can I ask? What does the name Lysander mean to you?
Searching. And it takes a few minutes, and then it says, Lysander, co-authored on several biographies, several spells, several theories, several magical practices. Self-authored, self-published. Historian, artifact, arcane practitioner. Creator. Lysander is
About
skilled.
to come from all this fucking recognition, goddamn.
Lysander is skilled in his field, a prodigy of his day. He is sure to do great things in the future.
Yep.
Your
sure
knowledge.
thing, buddy.
Where does your knowledge come from? It almost sounds like you're reading from a library.
It can't answer your question.
Mm.
It takes a few minutes and then you realize nothing's coming.
I think its knowledge comes from Alan's library.
Smart.
interesting.
Hmm. Okay.
Well, it's covered in poop. Maybe we should send it back to Alan. What if we light it on fire and leave it on Alan's doorstep?
I love it.
You really hate this thing, don't you?
But yeah, it's Alwyn, not this thing. This thing is just a bag of shit to cash in.
Do an intelligence check for me, Kazir. Just looking at this thing.
15.
15. The wiring you have no understanding of. The cogs you have very little understanding of. The runes you do have some understanding of. Given a lot of time and some more experience, you might be able to make at least some minor repairs to this thing. It'd probably be a while before you make any significant repairs, but it's not a complete lost cause.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to do that when we're finished up here. As long as Alan can't like see through it or something. Seems like an Owlin thing to do. How much further until we reach the end?
End?
Of the passageway.
It looks down the passageway and it says, "It is a city. There is a long ways to go." It doesn't understand where you're trying to go. It doesn't know what Alara's house is. You would assume that the
Yeah.
tunnels keep leading on beyond where you're trying to go.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
But it keeps walking with you all the way down to where you guys actually need to be.
I want to ask it, do any creatures live in here?
There are some that still remain.
Like what?
All different kinds of creatures.
Any that would pose a threat to us?
Significant threat to commoners and peasants and
Oh.
serfs.
I get the point.
I'm fucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe keep your eyes peeled, fellows.
Yeah, and all of this conversation is happening in ancient Elvish. And one of the repairs that you think you probably could make, Kazir, is some sort of library, for lack of a better term, in its head for memories to start with, but also probably for some sort of language center so it can start learning languages that you might know.
I got a pet, boys.
Hell yeah.
It's slavery with extra steps.
Wow. This is where my job's going to lead me in 10 years?
Robot slaves.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah, it's pretty ironic, honestly, but I fuck with it.
Okay, well,
Yeah, the robot.
how much further till Alara's?
It's not far at this point. You guys are pretty much directly underneath where you would assume Alara is
Crawling
placed
out of
to
her
be.
toilet or what? What's happening here?
So when you
Yeah,
look
we can
when you
read
look
that.
up, you can see there's definitely light coming from directly above you. It doesn't look like like a toilet sewer. It looks more like a drain, and you can tell by the noises happening. It sounds kind of like a kitchen of some kind is directly above you.
So, what time did we come in here at? And how long have we, estimated been down here?
It's approaching nighttime. You probably have a few more hours before it gets dark. But it took Vicar 3 hours at least to get the documents he needed, and you guys got what you needed in the morning. So it's late afternoon.
Okay. Well, obviously the plan's I shadow someone to go up there. Do we want to wait a bit longer till it's more dark? Because you have to move from shadow to shadow.
Yeah, for sure. We also don't have to enter from down here. We could enter from above. I wanted to just kind of know where the sewer, entered in, and how high up is it?
It's not high up. It's only about 10 feet above you. But the problem is the grate is like what you would see in fast food restaurants. It's only about that big, and there's a bunch of them lined up above you. So it's kind of like you could sweep water down into the sewer whenever they're cleaning the kitchen. It's not a ton of space. You could blow your way through it if you wanted to. You could,
Or
if
maybe
you had
turn ourselves into liquid.
turn yourselves into liquid. You could turn yourself into a shadow. If you have anything that allows you to get through small spaces, you could get in there.
How does that work, Kai? Well, no. How does us turning into liquid work?
Like, how do we climb up there when we're liquid?
Water gun.
Kai
I'll
throws
put you
us
in my
really
mouth and
hard.
spit you out.
God damn it. Water balloons, boys. That's the move.
Yeah. Hmm. I see. Right. So we'd have to have our gear stashed inside already. Right. Okay. So this does not seem
So
like.
one person can go and check it out, basically.
Yeah.
Alright.
We could enter
Do we
from here,
want-
but
do we
it
wanna
sounds
do
like we
that?
have to go in through the trunks.
Or we just find a different sewer. Like, it's probably not the only hole is to the kitchen.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could look around. Is there like a larger drain in the garden or something like that?
Do
You know?
an investigation check for me, Vicar.
Oh.
I'm gonna help him because I'm also trying to figure this out.
All right, go ahead
That's
and roll with
possible.
advantage. Yeah, no, I'm assuming that everybody here is kind of looking around.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 10
With
With
advantage.
advantage, you got to.
with advantage.
All right.
Jeez. Okay.
You're not.
Though.
You're not seeing any holes. You do see a couple other sewer drains, but nothing that's big enough for your party to get into. Most sewer drains are not designed to flush 10-foot large dumps. So
Guess it depends on the bathroom. Dolos's bathroom
Maybe-
better.
Maybe I could ask our friend if there's a bigger passageway that we could get up there and just like point above the drains.
it looks at you and you see the lights kind of flashing in its visor, and it doesn't give you a response. It doesn't seem like it really knows.
Does anybody else want to look around?
I was helping
I mean-
you. I think that was the group check. Was
Yeah, that was
all right. All
For
right,
finding
well,
any
that-
other entrances in
you
here.
just fucked the whole group.
That's
It's okay,
that-
John. It's okay.
Shit, I rolled a 5 and then a 6 plus 4.
Shit. That is,
Yeah.
that is not it.
It wasn't it.
This
You
does
guys-
not help our situation at all, but I would like to ask the robot what its name is.
I do
Oh
not
wow,
have
that's weird.
a name
Huh.
that you would consider to be a name.
Don't
How
tell
about
me.
you just tell us?
Your name is Abe. From this day.
My name is not Abe.
Yes, it is Abe.
What is it then?
Hang on. Actually, I do have its name. My name is C A. Hang on. I actually have to write this out. I do have it. It's Okay.
A-U-N-T.
My name is CA53Y.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Abe.
Cassie.
Call him Casey, because he's a man with a girl's name.
CASEY. CA53Y.
Got it.
Yo, free my homie Casey.
I don't know where we go from here, guys, other than just recon.
Yeah, I think we can recon from here, or we can go back up and. But yeah, I think that we're probably looking at the crate entry
Yep.
point because it doesn't seem like the sewers is going to pan out.
Well, I didn't dedicate my whole life to learning spells, so I couldn't make one of you guys into a shadow. So who's going up there and scoping this place out? And I have poop on my robes, so we're definitely doing this.
What are the components of the spell? Like, you stay a shadow for how long, and is there a way to like be
3
disabled
hours.
accidentally?
Yeah, you want me to like read this? Like it's a bit long. Would you want me to read it to you so you know?
Yeah, because I'm just concerned that one of us
Yeah.
goes upstairs and then we get dispelled somehow, and then it's 1v however many the fuck.
When you touch a willing creature with a piece of charcoal while casting this spell, the target and everything it carries blends into and becomes part of the target's shadow, which remains discernible, although its body seems to disappear. The shadow is incorporeal, has no weight, is immune to all but psychic and radiant damage. The target remains aware of its surroundings and can move, but only as a shadow could move, flowing along surfaces as if the creature moving normally. The creature can step out of the shadow at will, taking its physical shape and ending the spell. I have to cast this in a dark area where a shadow would not where a shadow would not normally appear. But even just like a really faint light source is fine. If you get totally flooded with light, the spell ends.
I would be happy to do it. I think that if this spell breaks on me for some reason, I probably have the best chance of getting out.
I would agree
Fun.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say the kitchen is well lit and will be well lit until it is probably late at night.
So we can exit the sewer, shower, and come back late, where the lights will be out. Like come back to like the outskirts of the building, not in the sewer.
What about Abe?
You want to bring him with us?
I don't know. We obviously can't take him out because Alan will literally destroy him the second he sees him.
You think?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I think so because I think Alan's got shit to hide, and this guy knows literally everything that happened.
Okay. Do you
I
want to
think
leave him
keeping
down
this
here
guy-
and?
I think protecting him and maybe repairing him is like actually super important. I just don't
What
know
can
the questions to
I
ask
do
him
to help?
yet. I mean, that's a great question. Can I like take a closer look, Jacob, and see what I like actually need to repair him?
I'm going to say the 15 that you rolled for today is all you can do for right now. You'd need to take a closer look in better light with less pressure on you to try to think more about it. But you got a lot of shit going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, we can for now like just tell him to wait somewhere like secluded and come back. But we should.
I mean, he was kind of chilling there for probably
a long time.
hundreds of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll put him someplace that we know where he is. And do you want to try to make any repairs to his language center or whatever it was that we were
I'm
talking
assuming
about?
I don't have any of the equipment to do that, but I mean,
No.
Jacob would know.
Yeah, no, not at this time. You probably have to do a lot of research and spend downtime doing research to even figure out what this thing is called originally. Like out of game, you guys know, but you don't know even in game what this
Okay,
what this
I
so
don't
thing
we
is.
know
will-
out of game. Can I take
we
before we
will-
leave? Let me take a bunch of notes on him and like the damage and stuff,
Yeah.
materials, and
And we'll agree not to mention this to Lysander or Alwyn
yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, fuck them both.
as a group, correct?
Yeah,
You all
Love
agree
them
this
both.
guy's like very important, or is
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
yeah, I'm
He's-
with you.
It's an impartial sense of knowledge, source of knowledge.
literally.
He's a large creature, so no, he cannot fit through a manhole. But you would assume if he got down here, either he was paved over, which is a very real possibility, or there's got to be some sort of larger entrances into this system somewhere.
Okay.
No, but you do have schematics of the sewer systems of the city, so you could probably find an entrance somewhere. But out of game, this is probably something that you're going to want to come back to and extract later. This is you can stop everything if you want to and find a way to get him out now, but that's going to be its own thing.
We don't even have anywhere to put him, so we need to get a house first. Let's put Abe somewhere safe.
Yeah, you could just like blow it out and make it into a basement.
Yeah. Once we have a
Hey,
lot
yo.
of place, we can literally just
And
hoist
then
him
we
up. to the
flip the
kitchen.
mansion for massive profit. We double the square footage.
Yeah, smells great. All right.
Damn, we're landlords now.
So, do we want to stop here? This seems like a good place to call it for tonight.
Sure.
Downskis.
All right. Good session, boys.
Jacob,
Got
I
some.
love the ancient robot. That's sick.
Excellent
Glad we didn't shoot
session.
that guy.
Did you miss the one shot? You must have missed the one shot.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Oh, were you not there for that?
Yeah.
Ah.
So we did a
No.
one shot from a while ago where you guys were playing as elves that were doing a relief
Is that the Rusty
aid
one?
mission.
Rusty cosplay?
Yeah. Yep. So you guys were sent into a city that had just fallen from the sky to try to help survivors. And there were these automatons, which is what this thing is. I think I have a link posted in artwork. If not, I'll post it again. This is what they look like, just for your reference, Joe. But they were all throughout the city, and they got damaged in the fall, and they were kind of going rogue, hurting people. And you guys had to figure out a way to fix their programming, and then soon after that, the city was overrun by drow, and you guys were all taken into slavery. And Rusty broke out of jail and became a legend.
no
Oh
way.
yeah, I forgot
Way.
about that end.
Is Rusty a robot?
Didn't
No, Rusty
No.
is Scott's barbarian elf character.
Nah, what?
Yeah.
Sick.
didn't
Legends
we
of Rusty
didn't
lives
we like
on.
technically like break out of jail and then just like wander until
Yeah.
we died?
It was
And I
you,
both-
You made it out of jail, but you couldn't make it out of the Underdark.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tunnels, yeah.
Rusty
But
broke out.
you terrorized drows until your last breath.
Yeah. There are legends about Rust. So that poem, that poem out of context for you, Joe, just didn't really mean anything. But now you
Nope.
now you have the context.
Well, and also this guy, like, I have no idea, and I haven't really played a ton of D&D, so I didn't even know what he was, like, out of character. So that's
Yep.
sick.
Yeah, that was Scott's character for the one shot.
Oh, I should have done that one. That sounds
Well, that's the
cool.
that's the point of the one shots. They're fun to do as like little tidbits and Easter eggs, and then when you miss them, and you can come back, and then you have these reference points.
Yeah.
So if you do miss them, it's not a big deal, and if you're there for him, you can be like, "Oh, does he have the little A?" I don't know who even said that, but
I said that. I was like, does he
Okay.
yeah, and I shouldn't have said that. As soon as I said it, I was like, I really shouldn't have known that at all.
yeah, nope. Yeah, no, it's all right. I mean, there's going to be a little metagaming that happens anyways, but it's not like spoiler city, so
No.
I wouldn't have given you guys the one shot if it was something I didn't want you knowing at all.
Pretty convenient, though, because, like, maybe he's not totally impartial, but we were looking for that third opinion. You know what I mean? Forget what the wood guy was called. Like, not Lysander, not Alan, but the other one, but he was
A
useless.
brush.
A brash,
Brash
yeah.
was useless. But, like, this guy's just raw information, so...
Very true. But
We'll
maybe
see
he's
how
programmed
useful
to
he
say
is.
certain things.
Yeah, we don't know.
He does have a programmer, so
We'll see.
That's me.
Well, thanks
Or
for
do it.
playing, guys. Let's make sure that we don't take 2 months to do this again.
yeah. We had a lot of shit happen in the last couple
Sure.
of
Let's
months.
take
yeah.
3.
We gotta outdo ourselves. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's see if we